Hi and welcome to this video. In this tutorial, we're going to create a UI in Unreal Engine similar to the one in The Last of Us. You can download and use the project file from the description. First, let's watch a short gameplay clip. If you look closely, you'll notice that first a sign icon appears on the door. It starts small and with low opacity, then it grows larger and becomes fully visible. When we get closer, the F key icon appears, which is used for interaction. That F key press also has its own animation. Here you can see the final result. If you like what you see, follow along with the video. We'll start by creating a very simple version, and then we'll make it exactly like in the game. First, we'll import our two icons. Open each one, set the compression setting to User Interface 2D, and set the texture group to UI. Do this for both icons. Next, we'll create a blueprint of Type Actor. Inside it, I'll add a static mesh just for the visual appearance of the blueprint. Then I'll add two sphere collisions, one for the sign icon and another smaller one for the key icon. For both collisions, add begin overlap and end overlap events to the event graph. Now add a getPlayerCharacter node and compare it with the other actor from the events. This way, the collisions will only trigger when our character enters, not with any other collision. Since we're starting with the simplest method, let's add two billboards. Change their icons to our custom icons and adjust their size to whatever you like. Try to place both of them in the same location. We'll set their visibility to off in-game, and then make it so that when the player overlaps, their visibility turns on. Now, in the event graph, get out billboard and connect it to a set visibility node. For begin overlap, check set visibility to turn it on, and for end overlap, uncheck it to turn the visibility off. Now, duplicate these nodes and use in billboard for the inner icon. At the end, add two more set visibility nodes, but this time, for begin overlap, leave the visibility off, and for end overlap, turn it on. This way, when the player enters the inner collision, the sign icon turns off and the key icon appears. And when the player leaves, it switches back. Don't forget to set the set visibility nodes to use the correct variables. For the main method, we'll use the same blueprint, but instead of billboards, we'll create two widget blueprints so we can also add animations to them. Right-click, go to the User Interface tab and create a widget blueprint. Open it and add a canvas panel. Change its scale from 1 to 0.5. Then, add a vertical box inside it and apply exactly the same settings I use. You can always change them later. Next, add an image inside the vertical box. Set it to your icon, and if you're using my icons, keep the same image size I'm using. I've tested it, and it works well. That's it for the setup. Now, let's create an animation for this widget. From the bottom left tab, click on Animations. Press the plus icon to create a new animation, and give it a name. Click on the animation. Then on the right side, click Add, and select the image. Now press the plus icon next to the image and choose Opacity. With the timeline set to second 0, change the opacity value, then press Enter. It will create a keyframe automatically. I want the opacity to start at 0.0. Then I'll move the timeline to about 0.35 seconds and set the opacity to 0.65. This gives a nice, smooth icon appearance. You can preview the animation by pressing space. Next, press the plus icon for the image again and choose Transform. Make sure your timeline is at second 0 before adding it. Expand Transform, find Scale, and set it to 0.5 at 0 seconds. Then move the timeline forward and set the final value to 1. Try to keep the animation short. Around 0.5 seconds is perfect. And that's it. The animation is done. Now, duplicate this widget and simply change its icon and animation. This time, the animation will be for the click action. That means the first and last frames of the animation should be the same, and in between, the icon should shrink in size and lose some opacity. Then, by the end of the animation, it should return to its original size and opacity, all within a short time frame. Now, duplicate the blueprint you just made and open the copy. This time, instead of a billboard, add a widget component. After adding it, scroll down in the Details panel to the User Interface section. Set the widget class to the widget we created and set Space to Screen. We'll start by setting up the nodes for the outer widget. Now, follow along and place these nodes together. First, create a Create Widget node and set it to the Sign widget, the one with the empty square. Next, right-click on the return value and choose Promote to Variable to create a variable for it. Then, add a Set Widget node. Followed by a Set Visibility node. Get the variable you just created, right-click it, and convert it to a validated Get node. Finally, add a Play Animation node. Search for the name of your animation inside OutSign and connect it to the animation input. Connect OutSign to the target input. Use the Play Animation node for the End Overlap event as well. But set the play mode to reverse. Then add a delay node and set it to 0.7 seconds. Finally, add a Set Visibility node and uncheck it to turn off the visibility. Here, the widget is always visible because we forgot to turn off visibility in the Details panel. Now, duplicate the widget we have and use it for the F key icon. Remember to change its widget class to the new widget. For Begin Overlap and End Overlap events, we'll enable and disable input respectively. Then, add 3 Set Visibility nodes, just like we did before. Everything should work properly now. Next, let's set up the F key click functionality. We'll use the same nodes we already set up, so I won't go into extra explanations to keep it simple. We made a mistake connecting the input, so it's not activating. Make sure to connect it correctly. That's it for this tutorial. If you understood most of the concepts, you can use these widgets in any blueprint. Next, I'll apply this setup to the door we made in previous videos on the channel. If you want, feel free to follow along. But I won't be explaining it again since everything has already been covered. Thanks so much for watching this far. I really appreciate all of you. If you have any problems, download the project and ask your questions in the comments.